In this video, we're going to talk about the y-intercept and kind of what it helps us understand while we're reading graphs. So we are reading in mathematics today, and I think I clicked that button. There we go. Okay, so what is the y-intercept? The y-intercept has a lot of ways that we can describe this. The y-intercept is the y value when x equals 0. So that would mean that it is on the y-axis. It's represented with the variable b. So if we say b equals a number, we're typically talking about the y-intercept. Of course, you're going to need to look at the context for that. The ordered pair of the y-intercept is 0, b. Again, this just means that we're on the y-axis. The x value is 0, and the y value is what we're saying b is. Okay, it's where the line intercepts the y-axis, so the vertical number line. There's the y-axis, and here's the x-axis, right? The x-axis. If I had a line that went like this, the point where it touches the y-axis, right here, that would be called the y-intercept. With more like meaning to it, it's the initial value. Some of those keywords might be where we start at, the original value, a flat fee, or a base charge, something like that. So without further ado, let us look at some y-intercepts. So here I've got a graph, and we want to know what b is. B is the y-intercept, so I'm looking on the y-axis. And I want to know where that line crosses the y-axis, which is right here. That is the number 5, so b equals 5. It is a positive 5 because it's on the going up part of the number line instead of the negative side of the number line. The ordered pair for that would be the x value of that is 0, and the y value is 5. So the ordered pair is 0, 5. Looking at the next graph to the right of that, so we've got here, we want to know what the y-intercept is, b. So I'm tracing the y-axis, and I see that we're crossing this line at, it appears to be -9. So b is -9. If b is -9, I know I can write the ordered pair 0, -9. This means that the x value is 0. So going on this dot, we have no side-to-side number line value. It's in the middle. And then -9 would be we're down 9. So that's the y-intercept there. Looking at the example below that, we have, we want to find the y-intercept again. So tracing the y-axis, and the y-intercept is right here. That number is -5, so b equals -5. And the ordered pair for that would be, got my ordered pair parentheses and then a comma. The x value, the side-to-side number for that is 0. And the up and down number for that is -5. So the ordered pair for that y-intercept is 0, -5. Now we've got another last one where we just have to find the y-intercept. So I've traced the y-axis, and the y-intercept appears to happen right here between 2 and 4. So I'm thinking on a number line, if 2 is here and 4 is here, what number is between that? Between 2 and 4 is 3. So the ordered pair of that y-intercept, I need parentheses on the outside of the number and then a comma to separate the x value and the y value. The x value of this point is 0. I just looked at the x number line for that. The y value of that point is 3. So the ordered pair of the y-intercept 3 is 0, 3. Right, now we're going to add a little bit of context to this. So now we're looking at the y-intercept in a more specific situation. So here I've got a graph, and I do want to know the y-intercept, so I'm tracing the y-axis, and I see that the line crosses the y-axis at 12. So I can say that b equals 12. That's the ordered pair 0, 12. The ordered pair means there are two numbers happening here. The 0, remember, talks about the x value, and the 12 talks about the y value. Well, we should probably look at the axes to see what's being described here. So the x-axis is the horizontal one, and it talks about the days of registration. So if x is 0, then this is before registration. Before registration is on D0. And then looking at the y value, the y-axis, looking at the y-axis. The y-axis talks about number of students, so it looks like before registration we had 12 students. So 12 students were signed up, enrolled, registered. There's some sort of 12 students happening here. 12 students. I'm going to go with registered. If I think about what before registration means, we often call that pre-registration. So this could also be said 12 students were pre-registered. Now I know a whole lot about this graph, and I have no other context other than just the labels of the axes. So that's pretty neat and helpful stuff. Looking at the graph beside that, we want to know the y-intercept. So again, I'm tracing the y-axis. The y-intercept appears to be between 1600 and 1800. Since it's between 16 and 1800s, it's going to be 1700. So b is equal to 1700. That ordered pair, x, y, is going to look like 0 for the x, and then 1700 for y. Okay, so now let's put some meaning to this. What does the x-axis talk about? The x-axis is labeled with years. So at 0 years, at 0 years, then the y value talks about the value of the car in dollars. So at 0 years x, the value of the car in dollars is y, 1700. Value of the car is $1,700. I'm sorry, $17,000. Those are thousands. Oops. Okay. So let's think about what that means in a more realistic way to discuss, because we don't go around saying, well, at 0 years my car was worth this much money. Instead of saying at 0 years, we might say something like, when the car is brand new, because if it's 0 years old, it's a brand new car, right? When the car is brand new, its worth, or the value of it, is $17,000. It is worth $17,000. And we can see as time goes by, the value is getting smaller, and that's kind of what happens in the real world too. As time goes on, as the years go by, your car's just not worth as much. So some really interesting things that we can determine from a graph just by reading the ordered pairs and understanding what it means. This is all I have for y-intercept today. If you have questions, comments, concerns, please reach out to me. You can message me on Schoology or send me an email. All of the good modes of contact. Thank you.